everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is a pretty exciting day here for me anyway. I finally received my CNC. This is a Yeti SmartBench, and I'll put a bunch of links in the descriptions of the place I ordered it from and some information about that. I'm excited to be doing a bunch of projects on this, but I'll kind of go through why I end up going this route compared to some other routes. But one of the things is I want to be able to do full-size sheet goods, so 4x8. That was one of the things. I wanted to be able to put it in my shop. Now I've got a fairly small shop, and if I went to a dedicated CNC machine, it would take up a large footprint. And that's where this thing stepped up for me. This is the whole machine here. It gets shipped in 4 different boxes, and it is, according to them, can be set up in 3 minutes. Somebody that's done that a few times probably can. But it's relatively quick to set up and tear down, and it can be stored. The longest piece here is the long bench here. It's a little over 8 feet to accommodate that 8-foot sheet goods. And then we've got the head here, and then the other two Y and X axis. So we'll go through the unboxing. I'll talk about where I got this, and I've had really great support through so far. Been very responsive, answering the phone and answering questions I've had and pointing me in the direction. Which is very much appreciative. You know, I'm new to CNC, so I don't know what I don't know yet. So anyway, so I'm gonna get this thing unboxed, see if we can get this thing set up, and then there's a process to go through to get it all, make sure that everything's in alignment where it's supposed to be, and then it's ready to start cutting. So let's get it unboxed. So as I'm unboxing these things, one of the things I was impressed with is how well everything is packed and contained within the boxes. Each box has styrofoam that is actually, looks like it's been laser cut to fit each individual part. So once it's in the box, it is actually really safe. So that was, and then the boxes are really heavy. So my understanding is these, when they're coming from overseas, they get shipped as a grouping of machines, and then on a pallet, and then the pallet gets broke down to the individual boxes, and they're sent out. So, and then the long bed is actually some 1x with some, I think it's 1/2 inch, 3/8 or 1/2 inch plywood on top and bottom, and that thing is got some spacers in there. It's got spots to hold it, so and then it's got metal corners on it, and actually had a little trouble trying to get this thing out of the box, so but was able to get that out. So then it's a pretty simple setup from there. So we've got the 2 legs. You put the one on, and I gotta break this thing to get out of my way, and then make some room. Need to get rid of some stuff in the shop so I have more room. And then there's an upper and lower beam, and that's the lower beam going on. Then I can set my legs. Then the upper beam goes on top of that, and then after that I can put the ZHead in and start go ahead and get everything set up. So at this point, things are going really, really well. I'm pretty excited and trying to get through and get everything set up. And then before too long, I get everything plugged in, turned on, and I don't have a screen. I got a blank screen. And trying to figure out why that is. I kind of went through a bunch of stuff trying to do it, and then made a couple of phone calls, and then got onto, they've got a web-based tech support in the UK, and sent an inquiry into them. They're actually pretty good response time on that, And we went through a series of things, what was going on, and what we finally figured out after some trial and error is we thought the console, which is the little touch screen on the side there, had failed. So Eric Schiller, who I bought this from down at Yeti Southeast, said, you know what, I got a spare one. I'll just send it out to you. Let's see if we can get this thing figured out. And then it showed up. Second day there, air out that to me, hooked it up, nothing. And then after that, I started looking a little bit more, and I found, and it was an error on my part. One of the control wires going to the ZHead, I'd inadvertently bent a screw, or excuse me, a pin. So the pin I had bent was on this connector. It's got two connectors going onto the ZHead off the upper beam. One is a controller cable, and then on the other side is its power cable. And then that comes up into power coming into here into the spindle, and then it's this is actually for, I think it's the speed control wire. So, but that had gotten bent, and we figured that out. I was able to get straightened out, and the machine fired right up. And when I asked them, I said, well, is it possible just to send me out a new cable? So this cable runs down, comes across on the chain, goes back, and it comes back underneath into here where the control plugs into. I thought, well, maybe they can just send that out. And what they decided to do instead is they're going to send out this whole upper beam, which goes, it's kind of hard to tell, but this piece here across, not the controller, there, maybe we can see it a little better, but from this point up, not without the ZHead, they're going to send all of that, a new one assembly to me. They said it would take about 2 weeks, but they're going to send that over, and yeah, I'll get a new one. So I'm really impressed with this company. So far, they've been good response time, both with Yeti in the UK and Eric Schiller at Yeti Southeast, who sells these for them. So impressed with both companies so far, really happy. So yeah. All right, so now we'll go through the startup of the bench. We've got a on-off button here, which is actually your emergency stop. So if there was a problem, you can shut it down that way. We'll wait for that to come up. While we're waiting for that to come up, we'll get a blue screen, and I'll go through that. Then I'll go through its boot up procedure. One of the things it's got going on is it's got these bars that run on both sides of the beam. And if those are pressed in and you bump them, it'll put into an alarm state. So if you bump into it or something's on your work surface or something, it will stop it and let you, actually you can set it to that it'll actually retract the spindle back up and make sure that, for safety that way. And then you can it'll just restart and remember where you were at. So if you just bumped it, it's not a big deal. All right, here we go. We're starting the bench. We go through its safety warning, and then from the safety warning, the first thing I will do is I'll always do the auto square. Hit the homing button. That'll go through a self procedure where it will run the spindle up and down. It will bring the machine back up to the home end of the machine. It's all the way over there. And then it's going to run across to the other side. And it starts shuttering, but it's kind of self-alignment. And then it comes back. And I come all the way back to the end here again and bump on the end. All right, so it is ready to go at this point. So at that point, we have a whole bunch of different screens, but I think we're just going to jump into our CAD CAM program. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get a file loaded. And I already have a file loaded, but I can either load files through the USB here, or I can load it through Wi-Fi. We're not going to go into that right now. So we'll go ahead and highlight that file, and it tells us some of the code that's in that. I think it's the first 20 lines of the code for that. We'll ask if we want to do checks on it. And I'll run through that, check for any errors. And it gave us a warning on the speed rate. We're not going to worry about that right for now. Now you can see there's our tool paths in red, and then our cutouts for, this is two cabinet sides. I believe that is the bottom shelf, that is the back, and then some stretchers and a shelf in there. So that's a small cabinet that was built. And then the next screen down is going to say, this is where I've set the home position. You can see where we're sitting in relation to that. So what we'll do through now is I'm going to go ahead and we'll take our laser and we'll line up with that edge to align where our datum point is. So what I said earlier is that if these get bumped somehow, if you watch this, it goes into a blinking red, but then it's interrupted on the push bar, and if ready to resume, so if something happened, it would just stop. And I've had it bumped it on a file when I'm doing a job, and it's just starts back at the job where it was at before. So we'll go down to the next screen, and now we're going to go over, we're going to take the head and we're going to bring it back over to here, and we're going to set, this is where we want to set our XY datum with our laser. So what we'll do is we've got a fast and a slow. We'll go to fast. Kind of get it here relatively close. And they've got a little removable dust shoe that you can take off, so you can see a little bit better. Oop. I'm gonna get kind of close. And then what I can do is I can set this to 1 millimeter, 0.1 millimeter. And whatever kind of, or that's infinite. So I want to go down to about 1 millimeter. And I'm just going to bring this back a little bit. We're going to call that good for right now. This is just a piece I got laying up there, so we're going to call it good. So we've got that lined up. And what happens is, once I've got that set, and then I go into here and I want to set where my datum point is, it'll ask me if I'm using the laser, which we are using the laser on this one. When I hit yes, what's going to do is going to take the spindle in the center of the bit and line it up with that. So it brought it over and bumped it over so the center is there. So there's a calibration you have to go through to get that. So now our X and Y is set. And we'll go back to where we're going faster. Now we need to set our Z. And we'll we've got our laser still there. So, but before we set the Z, you know, we might want to change a bit. So we've got an Allen wrench that comes with it that we go in and I can get it to line up. There we go. Loosen that up. We've got a speed controller, which is like a USB, and our power controller. We'll lift that out. Take our spindle. These are 1,000-watt spindle, and these will take anywhere from 1/8 to 3/8 of an inch up to 10 millimeter collets. In there, I believe they're a EC16. Get that back in there. Make our connections. It's hard to do this one-handed, especially when you're dropping stuff on the floor. Then you'll come in here till it's snug, and then just a little bit more. And we did pull that dust shoe out. So then on the side of it here, we've got to set our Z height. What I'm going to do is I'll bring, let's see if I can do this so we can see both of them at the same time. It's really hard to see both of them. But you can see this is where it thinks our spindle is at. And it shows it coming down. And then what I'll do is once I get this down closer. All right, so I've got that router bit down close. I've got the Z plate, and then I'll just go ahead and hit the button. It's kind of hard to get in here where you can see it. When I get really close, then I hit the 0Z. It'll come down, touch off. And then that just goes back into its little holder there. So, and that button is focusing. This is our 0Z. So you can see that it's back up there. When I set that, when it hit the little mirrored plate, it touched down there and brought it back. So now we would actually be ready to go, and we would just go through the go procedure. And then if the jaws pauses for somewhere, you want to lift it up, I always do that. Another safety warning, and then I'd hit the go button. But we don't have any sheet goods in there, so we'll have to say that for the next time.